Hello and welcome back. We are here with yet another One Piece discussion video. Today, I found the amazing topic of a fleet admiral strength, and let me tell you, there's nothing worse you can talk about in One Piece than power scaling, and that's exactly why we're here today, so I can give you guys my thoughts, my opinions, and we could just read the post and see what people are commenting about on this thread. So let's get this started. The fleet admiral strength. Sengoku, the former fleet admiral, was on par with the legends of his time. Roger and Whitebeard themselves said as much. Sakazuki is the current fleet admiral, so I see no reason why he can't be on par with the top tiers of his generation, especially since the Navy is more powerful than ever under his leadership, which is a fact that they did say in the manga. The fleet admiral position is a position of strength. Kuzan and Sakazuki fought to the death for the position. Mother Caramel compared Linlin's potential peak in strength to that of the fleet admiral as well. Which, to be fair, I'm pretty sure Mother Caramel was hyping that up. Like, there's no way Mother Caramel saw a young Linlin and was like, hey, this is some Fleet Admiral shenanigans right here. Yeah, I mean, Mother Caramel is dead. She never got to see Linlin's Big Mother's actual peak. So I would take this one with a grain of salt. Final sentence. So if Sengoku was equal to the top tiers of his time, the same logic should apply to Sakazuki. Imagine if this applied to Big Mom too. Big Mom is like equal with Roger and Whitebeard too. That'd be kind of nuts. I agree with this. I would say that Sengoku and Sakazuki are around the same level, but Sakazuki is definitely going to be a villain, whereas Sengoku is always going to be a good guy in my opinion. There's no way that we end off the series, and I guarantee you Luffy will not fight Sengoku. Nobody important will fight Sengoku. If anything, I can see him being on the Straw Hat's side. It's kind of a crazy opinion to have, but with Sengoku being tied to the SSG, with him being a really noble guy, stepping down from his position, seeing Law in Dressrosa, reminiscing about Rocinante, there's so many signs that Sengoku is overall a really good guy. Like, he's not here to destroy the world. He's actually one of the few Marines trying to achieve true justice and equality. That's why he backed up Fujitora, that's why he follows him, that's why he's very peaceful in nature, and even in the war, he was the main strategist. And yes, he had this strategy of defeating the Whitebeard pirates, but at the same time, he didn't really fight them at all. He just kind of stayed back until Blackbeard showed up, and then he was like, hey, Blackbeard is ruining all of this, I gotta take this man down. The minute Blackbeard took the Guru Guru no Mi and tried to destroy Marineford was the moment that Sengoku stepped into the field. He stopped him in his tracks and said, hey, this is symbolic. People look at Marineford and think of justice. They think of hope and peace. We cannot let a pirate like Blackbeard step all over this. And I think that was really cool, and especially when Shanks showed up to stop the war, Sengoku gave the orders to end the war as well. If Shanks showed up, it would have continued. But with Sengoku backing him, a pirate, that is when the war truly ended. And he even gave Shanks permission to take Whitebeard and Ace's bodies, which everybody was shocked. He even said, hey, I'll take full responsibility for this. Let Shanks have his way. I respect that man. I would have never done this to anybody but Shanks. It shows that Sengoku is not prideful. He's willing to step down and do what he believes is right. And I think that's true justice, and he is not a bad guy in my opinion. He is definitely going to be on Luffy's side. I can even see him and the SSG joining Luffy in the final war, whatever that looks like. And yeah, I don't think we'll ever see how strong Sengoku truly is, because Luffy will not end up fighting him. Alright, so now back onto the main topic. I kind of sidetracked a lot right there, but it's really discussing on how we assume Sengoku versus Akainu's strengths are. And in my opinion, even though I just hyped the crap out of Sengoku, even though they said he was on the same capacity as Whitebeard and Roger at their prime, I do think Akainu has surpassed Sengoku right now in the story. Because Sengoku's an old man, he's just walking around eating crackers with his goat. Like, Akainu is in his peak. This man is living his generation right now. If they were to fight right now, I would put all my money on Akainu winning that fight. And the main reason why is it goes back to Marineford and what somebody said about Whitebeard, and I don't remember who said it, but it stuck with me. They said that no matter how strong you are, you cannot escape the effects of old age. If anybody knows who said that, let me know in the comments because it's kind of bothering me now. If Whitebeard was in his prime when he fought Akainu, I guarantee you it would have been so much more one-sided than it already was. And same with the fight against Sengoku. If Sengoku was on the same strength level as Prime Whitebeard, he would be stronger than Akainu. Like, it's really just an age thing, right? It's a generational gap that we're witnessing. And Sengoku isn't really much of a fighter right now, in my opinion. So yeah, he's just chilling. All right, let's go back to the post here. Let's read some of the comments. Sakazuki is probably a lot scarier than Sengoku, to be honest. Just in terms of devastation their powers can cause. Plus, he's a stubborn asshat who has his own views and won't stop at anything, even killing other Marines and civilians in the process, until he eliminates all pirates. While Sengoku seems more like a reasonable dude. It goes back to what I said earlier. Sakazuki, Akainu, is meant to be a bad guy. He's somebody I cannot see us avoiding a fight with in the future. Luffy has to defeat Akainu to some level. Sengoku, more of an ally. He's peaceful. He's literally, his devil fruit is a freaking Buddha. You can't get more peaceful than that. So yes, in terms of power, no matter how strong Sengoku's power is, Sakazuki's is definitely more devastating. It can destroy land. It literally turned Punk Hazard into a lava land. All right, next comment. Akainu, one of the strongest right now, and there's no debate. I agree. He is definitely one of the strongest characters in the verse. I don't know where I'd rank him. I'd probably place him a little bit below Blackbeard, but it's all speculative. I don't know how strong Blackbeard is. I don't know how strong Akainu is post time skip, but we'll have to see that. In terms of story though, I feel like Akainu is more of a stepping stone for Luffy, whereas Blackbeard is more of a story stepping stone, because just the way Blackbeard is built up with all the devil fruits, with the will of D, and him not being the guy that Roger is waiting for, whereas Luffy most likely is the guy that Roger is waiting for. I feel like Blackbeard is built to be more of a challenge for Luffy, maybe a story gate, like, hey, Luffy's representing all the good will of D's, whereas Blackbeard is representing all of the evil will of D's. What I'm trying to say is that Blackbeard is more of a final villain, whereas Akainu is more like, you know, an optional boss you fight along the way. Alright, on to the next freaking comment. It's safe to say Akainu is strong AF and clearly on par with Kaido - Big Mom. That's just my opinion, but I'm sticking to it. I freaking agree. I get clowned on so often because I say that admirals equal yonkos. And nobody freaking, at least the people I see, do not agree with that. We've yet to see a true one-on-one between Admiral and Yonko. We've yet to see them go head-to-head. We've only seen Whitebeard and Akainu pre-time skip, and Whitebeard did destroy Akainu. I agree with this point really freaking hard because we haven't seen Admirals fight post-time skip. We don't know what that fight looks like with Haki. The only point of reference we have is Whitebeard versus Akainu. Yes, Akainu used underhanded tactics like I mentioned before, but he still put up a decent fight. And that's the main thing, right? Like, Whitebeard is a really strong dude. He's one of the strongest Yonko out there. If he had to fight Kaido, I'd put my money on Whitebeard. You know, obviously, if Whitebeard didn't have health issues, more so on Whitebeard. But that's just the thing. Like, we don't know what this fight would look like. We don't know if they were at their peaks yet, which, you know, obviously Akainu, I feel like, got stronger post-time skip, whereas Whitebeard would have gotten weaker post-time skip. But that's just how it is. Like, we don't know what it looks like until we see Luffy and his gang fight an Admiral one-on-one. A lot of people put disrespect on the Admiral title, and it doesn't make sense to me. Because in Marineford, which is the main reference point, they say, hey, they need 3 admirals present. They need all 7 warlords present to take on Whitebeard and his fleet. While that is true, only one admiral actually fought Whitebeard, and that was Akainu. Aokiji, Kizaru, they had brief glances and touch and goes with Whitebeard, but they didn't really fight him. They just said, hey, oh, here's some laser beams, here's some ice. And then they effed off, right? Like, they were gone. They fought the side fodder, they fought some of the Yonko crew, and that was pretty much it. Like, that's how that fight went. Only Akainu put in the work in that arc. Only Whitebeard put on the work on Akainu. It was just a straight one-on-one, and in that scenario, Whitebeard demolished him. And that's because he was full-on bloodlusted, right? Like, Ace just died, Whitebeard is pissed. Everything he saw before him just crumbled apart, and Whitebeard was not having it. It's like if you were to kill Luffy's Nakama. If you were to kill Luffy's Nakama right in front of him, would you not expect Luffy to beat the ever-living crap out of whoever just did that? Whitebeard, a Yonko, definitely overpowered Akainu and Admiral. But at the same time, it was a horrible matchup for Akainu, and you have to remember that Whitebeard is probably the strongest Yonko alive at that moment. So moving on to the next comments we see. If Akainu wasn't top tier at Marineford 2 years later, he is top tier now. That's what I'm saying. Post time skip Akainu, Fleet Admiral Akainu is probably freaking strong. That's why the Whitebeard versus Akainu at Marineford debate is, at the end of the day, fruitless. One was post prime and the other was pre prime. Oda is not that boring or basic of a writer not to have Akainu today relatively Yonko level. He is the Navy equivalent to the pirate side. That is Blackbeard in terms of endgame villains that will give post-Wano Luffy and the rest of the protagonists top-tier trouble. That's pretty much what I said. I'm not going to really talk about that. Oh boy, this is a beefy one right here. The reason Akainu and Kuzan fought was because Sengoku put forward Kuzan's name, whereas Akainu was favored by the higher-ups. They said Kuzan isn't someone who longs for power, but he is scared of what'll happen if Akainu led the Marines and accepted the challenge. Akainu was already very strong and so was Kuzan. After their fight, and Akainu becoming Fleet Admiral, there won't be any growth though. Akainu's last chance of growth was during the 10-day fight, and the fact Oda wrote a 10-day fight with an island equally divided by their powers means he was clearly trying to portray they are very, very close in terms of power. After becoming the Fleet Admiral, Akainu has exactly 0 chance of growth. He definitely won't be getting weaker, but he definitely won't go stronger either. I agree with that. I can't really see how Akainu would grow. He's not like Kid or Law. He's not out there fighting, people who are stronger than him. Akainu is sitting at a desk, and that's pretty much it. He's like Hokage Naruto. Hokage Naruto is strong. Like, he's like end of story strong. But Naruto will not get stronger in Boruto. It won't happen. I'm pretty sure Akainu was already prime Sengoku level regardless. The man literally put holes in Whitebeard. Even though Whitebeard was weakened when he was fighting Akainu, he was literally the face of death. Whitebeard let go of his life and only wanted revenge and was in a different zone. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, when Whitebeard was fighting Akainu, he did not care. He already knew he was gonna die. So Whitebeard went all freaking out. So Akainu would pose a really good challenge to prime Whitebeard too, by that standard. What I mean to say is, Admirals are already top dogs. Akainu and Aokiji were already Fleet Admiral material. In my opinion, they're very, very close to a Yonko, but they get beaten in a 1v1 against a Yonko. Extreme diff, my personal opinion. And I think the same would have happened had Sengoku fought any Yonko in his prime too. Alright, so I agree with this as well. I've been saying that you need to put respect on an Admiral's name, but I'm not putting them above a Yonko. I'm saying they're going to be very close to a Yonko, and if you had to determine a victor, it would really just come down to the nitty-gritty, like objectives, the scenario, are they bloodlusted, like who's the matchup, does it favor one devil fruit over another? It really comes down to a lot of small details when I put an Admiral versus a Yonko. And the main reason I see that is because an Admiral is like the Navy's top brass. Like, these are the last line of defense for the Navy, for the world government probably even. And the Yonkos are the same thing for the pirate world. Like, these are the top brass as well. Like, when you think of who's closest to becoming Pirate King, it's the Yonko. When you think about the people closest to Fleet Admiral, it's the Admirals. Like, they should be around the same level. And that's just what I'm saying. You got to put respect on Admirals. And I feel like a lot of people have been dissing them, but I feel like the main reason they are dissing the Admirals is because we haven't fought one post time skip. We had Fujitora, but he did not want to fight Luffy. He literally said, like, yo, like, I want to let these guys go. He was rolling dice, deciding on if he should let them go or not. He didn't want to fight Zoro. He didn't want to fight Law. He only did it because Doflamingo asked him to. And there's one point where Fujitora gets really mad at Doflamingo, and they have a small, like, clash. And people are like, oh my god, like, Fujitora and Doflamingo, like, Fujitora couldn't beat Doflamingo, like, he didn't want to fight him. Like, bro, the whole point of that arc is that the warlord system is busted. An admiral cannot fight a warlord because it's law. I mean, not Trafalgar law, but it's the actual law that the warlords are on your side. They're government property. And that's the whole point of the arc. Like, Fujitora was not giving it his all. He had so much more. The guy literally does this and like a meteor comes down and it's a whole problem. You know what I mean? Like Fujitora is top brass and he just wasn't meant to be written as a villain. All right, on to the next comment. Oda said if the story was about Sakazuki, he would find the One Piece in a year, which is not cap. This is actually true. This is factual. Oda did state that. And then the comment underneath it says, the context of Oda saying that was not about making the main character too strong. I think it should be interpreted more as, if Luffy was as strong as Akainu in the beginning of One Piece, then it would end in a year. Not, Akainu can beat all emperors, Navy, world government, and find the One Piece within a year. Just my 2 cents. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you could find the One Piece without having to fight everybody. You could steal Rubbing's opponent glyphs. You can find the main island by even accident, I guess. But yeah, Akainu could find the One Piece in a year if he was looking for it, which is crazy to think about, considering that's half the amount of time Luffy's training time skip was. Imagine if Sakazuki was looking for the One Piece and he finds it during the time skip. Like, Luffy comes out of training with Rayleigh and he's like, yo, time to find the One Piece. I finally learned how to use haki. And then he reads the paper and it's like, oh, Admiral Akainu finds the One Piece and destroys it. Like, bro, like, that would be just a crazy freaking plot twist. All right, so this is a freaking hot take. This is a magma take right here. Let it be known and mark this post, real talk, Akainu would wash Kaido. He plays too much. He loves taking blows. You just can't tank Magma Fist if you can't even take COC Fist. Come on. And Akainu likely has COC. I know he does, even if he only unlocked coding against Aokiji. So imagine COC infused magma punches. It would punch right through Kaido's belly. I wish that by the end of the series, Oda would just go on multiple SBSs talking about potential matchups and who would win. Imagine how wild the fan base would go if Oda just writes one sentence saying, oh yeah, I mean, Akainu would kill Kaido. Like, it would be no cap, like no diff whatsoever. Honestly, this is kind of hard. Like I said, we haven't seen Akainu fight anybody else so far. And Kaido is playing around with Luffy like he's like a cockroach running around in the kitchen. And it's like, if Kaido were to fight Akainu, I guarantee you Kaido would be on full guard. I don't know if he'd take too many hits. Whitebeard took hits mainly because he didn't really care at that point. But like Akainu versus Kaido, if they were both respecting each other, I have no idea. The problem with Akainu's power scaling is that he's somebody that will kill you. If you fight Kizaru, if you fight Aokiji, they're gonna capture you. They're gonna imprison you, whatever. Akainu fights dirty, man. Akainu is going in for the kill whenever he freaking can. That's the problem with Akainu. I kind of wish this post was more about the other admirals, because like if Kizaru were to fight you, like if Aokiji were to fight you, or if even Fujitora were to fight you, it'd be a completely different story. The way I see it is that Roger and Rox were, counting all top tiers from all eras since Rox's fall, they were the absolute best. If they were 100, Garp and Whitebeard were 99s, and Sengoku and Shiki are 98. Okay, real quick, before we read the rest of this, I just have to go on the record, and I have to say, normally I say no disrespect. Maybe my opinion's wrong, maybe my opinion's right. I'm gonna say it right here. Shiki is garbage. I do not want to see this man in any power scaling debate whatsoever, because he just throws a cog, he throws a wrench in this already perfect machine. Shiki is touted as being this guy from Roger's crew. He was really strong. He was up there. He was upper echelon. He fought everybody important. He fought Garp in his prime, Sengoku in his prime. People were worried about this man destroying the world. And then guess what? They're like, oh, Luffy defeated him, but hey, Shiki was nerfed. Shiki's been in jail. Shiki had his legs cut off. Shiki having his legs cut off, not a nerf. Because the man doesn't even walk. The guy like freaking floats around. His Devil Fruit is built around not having to use his legs. So it's not even nerf. If anything, his legs being cut off and having swords is a buff. So having Shiki being defeated by Gear 3 Luffy, time skip, is just trash. Like no matter how you slice it, the whole movie of, I think it's called Strong World, right? I think Strong World as a whole is a good movie, but power scaling wise, it's not good. Having Shiki being defeated by pre-time skip Luffy, and also saying Shiki was in his, like, you know, even though he's not in his prime, saying that he was defeated by Luffy when he was equal to Whitebeard and all them is not good. That's not good at all. And I mean, the main thing, you could say he underestimated Luffy, but at the same time, he did get defeated by just a Thor's hammer, which, granted, a really strong move, but it didn't have any Haki, didn't have any COC, pre-time skip Luffy. Like, it doesn't look good for him. So Shiki is an outlier. Don't consider him in power scaling. It really shouldn't count. Back to the post. Then Big Mom, Kaido, and Shanks are also 98s. Then we have the 5 current and former admirals at around 97 or 96. So I really think they are really close to one another, and everyone can realistically beat the others in a one-on-one. I agree. This is what I agree with. Like, people are saying that admirals. Okay, I'm gonna use this guy's power scaling metric. Like if Yonkos were 98s, I would place the admirals at 97s or 96s. Like, it comes down to just little hairs of the fight. They're so close. Maybe the Yonko are stronger. Maybe the admirals are stronger. At this point, I kind of wish that Oda just comes out and says who's stronger, but I guess we'll find out as the story goes on. All right, so this is the last one I'm going to talk about. I bet Sakazuki will become the strongest fleet admiral in the entire history of Marines. Also, the most ruthless one. With the downfall of 2 Yonko, Kaido, and Big Mom, the pirates will be more vulnerable, and Marines under Sakazuki's leadership will definitely gain a majority of territory in the New World. Many pirates will probably be killed because of his ruthless nature. The great pirate era will end. Only the top tiers will survive, and that's how I see the story going. I wonder, okay, see, looking at this, it makes me wonder about how One Piece will end, because we know how the pirate era ended in real life. The Navy just got too strong. Pirates became outlawed, and they're always outlawed, but pirates just got hunted down left and right, and becoming a pirate just wasn't worth it. There was no more treasure to find. There was nothing to pillage. There was nothing to discover anymore. And once Luffy finds the One Piece, are pirates really needed after that? The purpose of pirates, in a way, is to find the One Piece, because Roger gave them that goal. Once Luffy finds it and he fulfills Joy Boy's dream, will there still be pirates, or will it just only be the Marines? And we know that there's a good side to the Marines in the name of the SSG, so will they just take over and we'll live happily ever after? I can't see that, because the pirates and the will of people has to go on somehow. Wow, that's kind of a cool subject to think about. Like, will the pirates still be around after they discover the One Piece and after all the treasure is found? Or will they just dwindle down and die off? Like, it's kind of morbid, really. But back to the original post, just to talk about it. After Wano, what's gonna happen? Like, really, like, two Yonkos are gonna go down. The Marines are gonna be having a field day. Not to mention, they already just rolled out the abolishment of the Shishibukai. So there's no more 7 warlords. They're switching over to, you know, artificial Kumas going around destroying people. Like, what is the world going to look like after Wano? During the raid of Onigashima, Sakazuki even mentioned, yo, I cannot spare any admirals to go to Onigashima right now. Even if Kaido and Big Mom are there, I cannot spare anybody, because we are dealing with so many things around the world right now, which I'm assuming one of them is either Blackbeard taking down the 7 warlords, or just taking down some unknown threats that Imusama imposed upon them. Like, there's so much going on in the New World right now. I cannot wait to see what the world is going to look like. While it sounds like the Navy and Marines have the upper hand outside of Onigashima right now, you have to remember, if Oda really wanted to, he could pull out this card of saying, hey, here's my trap card. All the prisoners in level 6 in Impel Down escaped during Blackbeard's infiltration. And he could be like, oh, like, here's a pirate from a long time ago. He was in level 6 and he escaped. Here's another one over here. He could literally just keep on doing that. He did that with Bullet. The whole movie revolved around Bullet escaping from Impel Down with Blackbeard. And it was like, yeah, now we have this crazy, you know, top tier threat attacking Luffy and his gang. Oda could just keep on pulling that off and it would be totally justifiable. And I'm really curious, man, like, what is this gonna look like? Because there's no way we get out of Onigashima and it's like, hey, surprise, all the warlords are dead. All the pirates are gone. Sakazuki has taken over. I mean, it would progress the story, but I think it would be too abrupt too quickly. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments down below. Do you like these discussions? Should I keep on making more? Do you agree or disagree that admirals are around Yonko level? Like I said, I put them almost on par, maybe a little bit below, but based on the matchup, I do believe an Admiral can 1v1 a Yonko based on the matchup. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you have the time of day, please consider checking out my Discord server. It is kind of dead, I will admit, but you could breathe life into it. Check out my streams on Twitch. I play a lot of games. Right now I'm playing Elden Ring, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! So if you're interested in that, check that out down below as well. I'm also linking my second YouTube channel. It only has one video right now, but I'm going to post all my gameplay highlights, random chips reviews on there. I don't know, but this channel was originally nothing but chip reviews, so I kind of want to continue that trend, so follow that down below as well if you have the time of day, or if you're interested in that. It really would mean the world. If none of that is interesting to you, don't follow it. No offense taken. I totally understand if you do not want to follow some random dude on a bunch of random social media accounts. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. My name is Sai, and really, you guys are the best. Thanks for liking it. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and just being here in general. You guys are why I do it. Peace out.